Hi guys, so this week we have pushed out a bunch of subtraction practice for you. This is sort of where we left off in class, but we did get a good chunk of it out of the way. So this is again going to be review for you, and then this week you'll practice that. Okay, so I just wanted to make a quick video to make sure that you were reminded of some of the key important things when we're talking about double digit addition. So remember, the most important thing is that you remember place value, okay? So if I look over here at this number 63, I can separate this number out, right? So I have the ones place over here and the tens place over here. Okay, so that means that I have 3 ones and 6 tens. All right, now we also talked about how we can sort of use a place value chart to help us think about this. Okay, if you remember way back when we played with those orange, physical blocks where it showed us our 10 sticks, our ones cubes, and then our hundreds frames. Okay, so the reason that we draw it out the way we do is because of those blocks. So we would draw our 6 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we would draw our 3 ones, right? So these are to represent our ones cubes, and these are to represent our our 10 sticks, okay? So this is how I would draw out the number 63 with my 6 tens and my 3 ones, okay? Now remembering this place value is going to help us when we go to do our double digit addition. All right, so looking up at our first problem up here, we have 54 minus 23, okay? I know that this is an okay problem to solve because 54 is bigger than 23. Remember, when you are subtracting, you can't take away more than you have. So you can sort of think about it as if you had 5 M&Ms and someone wanted to come and take 7 of them, right? It's impossible. You only had 5. So you have to make sure that you're subtracting or taking away less than you have, okay? So if we were starting with the number 54, the very first thing I would do is I'd put 54 on my chart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tens and 4 ones, okay? This represents this number again, 54, because I have 5 tens and 4 ones, okay? Now, hopefully when I ask this question, you're all screaming into the camera, but where do we always start when we are adding or subtracting? Hopefully you're screaming the ones place. So I'm going to take a look at my ones place over here. I have 4, and I'm taking away 3 ones, okay? So if we're using our chart, we would just simply erase 3 of my ones, okay? Now looking over at my tens, I'm taking away 2 of my tens. So I would simply erase 2 of my tens, okay? I have 3 tens left and 1 1. Okay, so that gives me the answer of 31, right? I have 3 tens left and 1 1. Okay, now where things can get a little bit tricky is when we have to regroup, which we talked about this a lot in class. So hopefully, again, this is just review. And when I say the word regroup, you know what that is from maybe addition or from subtraction from class, okay? So we'll take a look at this next problem over here. So just like that first one, we're going to check. 16 is less than 32, so I know this is an okay problem to solve. I know that I have at least 16 to take away. Okay, again, I'm going to start with my first number, 32, 3 tens, and 2 ones, 32, okay? Now, my next step would be to look in my ones place again and take away 6 ones, okay? The problem is I don't have 6 ones to take away. So again, just like addition, we are able to swap or regroup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away a 10. I'm going to borrow him, and I'm going to turn him into and break him down into 10 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, this is still the number 32. Again, I just haven't made that switch yet, right? I don't have that 110 anymore. I switched him into 10 ones. Remember, 10 ones and 110, same thing. So it's okay to do that. All right, now that I have at least 6 to take away, I can go ahead and take my eraser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I made that trade. Don't forget, you still have to go over here to your tens, and I need to take away a 10. Okay, I have 1 10 left and 6 ones. Okay, gave me the answer of 16. Okay, I know that was very fast, but I hope that that is some just quick review for you. Most of you should remember this, okay? Now, while you're doing subtraction this week, I know that most of you, don't have this hundreds chart with you. So there are a couple things that you could do, okay? If you have any sort of whiteboard in your house, like a small one, or maybe you have a big one like this, you can definitely use that whiteboard and just sort of draw out this chart, okay? You may also just take a regular piece of paper, and again, you could just draw it out. So again, you would just split that paper into 3 spaces, and you would write your hundreds, your tens, and your ones. And you could just use pencil and erase it per problem, or you could separate it out. Okay, another thing that you can do is if you make a paper like this, if you have a big Ziploc bag, you could slide this paper into that Ziploc bag, and then you'll be able to write on it with that Expo marker. Okay, if the only thing you have is some notebook paper, take out that notebook paper and again just make those lines and make this chart to help you. Okay, some of you may be ready to solve all of the subtraction this week without using this chart, and that's totally okay too. Okay, so whatever you need, remember this is just a tool to help you sort of visually see that subtraction happening. The biggest things to remember when you're subtracting this week, friends, is that you remember your place value, you remember to always start in the ones place, and you remember this difference, right? This problem we did not have to regroup. This problem we did, okay? You'll know right away if you need to regroup if this number in the ones is bigger than this number. Okay, again, we can't possibly take away from more than we have.